Hello, everyone. It's Maureen. Welcome to my studio. Today, I want to talk to you about, more of a difficult phase in the creation process of telling stories. And this image here sort of sums it up in a nutshell. And that is, what do you do when your story starts to overwhelm you? And that's what I want to tell you today. Where does this begin? Well, this begins with the story of Ember, the story that I have been showing you and telling you these past 3 videos. And the last video you saw, you have seen me make more elements for the story. And what I had in mind was that I wanted to have these different elements so that I could go on with the story of Ember, let her go on her journey to the spire, to the portal, to the magic realm, and then towards what she wanted to learn and maybe what she would encounter on the way, the challenges that she would encounter, and so on and so forth. After filming that video, I had my desk full of things. I had illustrations, I had all elements from pulling the cards, the spells and the objects and the people that she would encounter. I had even more from the videos before that with the spell components, but they were sort of, on the side, but still I had those too. And then there was a whole pile of beautiful illustrations from the village that you see also here very faintly in the background, but some more variations of that. I had some illustrations of the creatures she would encounter. Well, long story short, I had a lot, and after filming the next few days, I felt that it was too much. I completely froze and I didn't know how to continue the story. I was very much afraid that it would be way too much, that it would expand way too far. So, in essence, I made too many things for me. And so I experienced a form of overwhelm. Much like this, there were just too many directions that the story would go. And I took a few days to sit with that emotion, with those feelings. At first, I was beating myself up for it, but that very quickly went away. And then I sat with the feeling and I started to realize that, I can just adjust. I can adjust my course. I don't have to throw away all the things that I have made because they are still beautiful and they are still valuable. I just needed to sit and see what it is that I want to do with the story of Ember. And then I realized that there were essentially 2 things that I needed to do, which are, in essence, of course, pretty simple, but not if you are in the middle of this feeling of overwhelm. So I had to, the first step away from it all. I had to take some distance from the story, from everything that I wanted to do with the story and everything that I experienced. And then I knew that I had to simplify. I had to go from this crazy amount of elements and story directions to essentially, again, a blank page so that I could just connect with with the essence of the story, if you want to. So what I also did for myself is I let off the pressure. I had put too many expectations on myself, which I sometimes do. This is something I experience in my regular life as well, so no surprises there. I think some of you can even relate to this. So yeah, there was too much pressure. I also wanted to make it, I wanted to make it a really, really good story. It had to all fit in and it had to be exciting and thrilling and fantastical and well, again, too much. So this feeling of wanting to make something really, really good, that's where my perfectionist self is interfering with my flow of creative energy. The perfectionist in me is essentially blocking me because it is telling me you have to nail this, you have to make a perfect story and you have to tell it in a beautiful way and you have to use all these elements and you have to be able to show everybody how it works with all the technical stuff. And wow, I'm getting a headache again, even talking to you about this. But it is always there in creation, in creating stories, but it is also there in any form of creation. The perfectionist in me will always try to go to the extra mile, which is good, but not if it is too much. So in this case, it was too much, and I had to tell my perfectionist self, okay, dear perfect Maureen, this is too much. We're not going to do it this way. And I told my perfectionist self to please sit somewhere else and it could come in at a later moment. But at this moment, I needed the rest and the peace and the simplifying and making it all smaller again. And that worked. This is a process that I'm very familiar with, that I have experienced in my life many times. So this is a process that doesn't really take a long time, but I do have to realize that this is what is going on. So I simplified, I let off the pressure, and I told my perfectionist self to please take a seat at the sideline. And then I also remembered that, yeah, I can ask for help. I don't have to do this all by myself because at this point I was okay with making it simpler, not having too many options, and not having to do it all by myself. So I was gonna ask some help, and I did this with the help of ChatGPT because it is at the moment my writing buddy, my creative companion for the times when I don't really know what I want to do or when I need some fresh insight into things that I am writing about. Or in this case, I told ChatGPT what I was doing and I asked him, because I see it as a him, and I asked him to give me an idea of what the next step for Amber would be, being at this point where she is going from her village to the spire, to the steps, and to that portal. And that was a really good idea. ChatGPT came up with this idea that she would come to the thorny bushes in the orchard. If you remember, she was going to go through the orchard to go to the spire. So she had to have a passage in the orchard. And ChatGPT told me, well, what if we have a guard at the bushes, and the guard will put Amber to the challenge. He will challenge her with three riddles, three questions, and she will have to answer those in order to have clear passage through the bushes, and then she can go up the steps. And I thought that that was a brilliant idea. And from that point on, I felt a sense of peace, if you will. I was ready to continue with this story, and I was so happy that I asked for help so that I didn't have to come up with all the ideas myself, but I still would feel this exhilaration of continuing the story, because I don't want to leave the story behind. I do still want to know where Amber will go and how she will reach her destiny. So before I show you the riddles, the questions that ChatGPT came up with, I'll just want to quickly show you how I converted all the elements from the previous videos into these cards, if you will. So I made all these elements into rows and columns in this table, and I took this beautiful image of the village where Amber lives, and I put it faintly in the background because that's something I love to do. I like to have my things look pretty, if you will. So you see, here's the invisible moss, and here is the staff of abundance, and there's the Perfectionist's ink. And here I also have the table with a lot of ingredients that I have collected. I may even not have shown these in a video, but that's just perfectly okay. I needed to have them all in one place, if you will, and these were the ones, these are the ones that came from that session of creating story elements. Like here's the deck of cards that controls plant growth. Here's that abacus that contains a concealed tool, the jewel, the whisperer's jewel with the uncertainty theme. So now I have these elements, they are still here, I can still use them, and I will at some later point undoubtedly mix them in with a story. Or I will just take one and show you how we can come up with the event that will trigger the use of a certain element of these, and we can also try and see to make potions and why we want to make them and what they are for. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to show you first what I did with a whole bunch of the elements that I made. Yeah. All right. Now, here is my my beautiful big writing journal. And here is what I did together with ChatGPT. So I cannot really focus any better on this, and also it is all in Dutch because, well, as you maybe know, Dutch is my mother language, and whenever I am in the flow of creating a story, I usually do that in Dutch because I can better express the subtleties of the emotions and stuff. So I did this in Dutch, but I do want to take you along on this piece of the journey that Amber takes. So what happened? I asked ChatGPT to give me the scene. I explained what I had, the previous story of Amber, and then ChatGPT came up with this scene. And he says, well, Amber shows up at the orchard, and she is at the right place, with the bush where she knows the passage is to go to the spire with the stairs, And so she encounters a person that is called Myrtle, the guard of the spire steps. He says, it was predicted in the stars that you would come here, the stars of the purple moon. But before you continue on your journey, you have to answer me these 3 questions. That is your challenge that you have to go through today. And Myrtle steps forward. The air is vibrating with a silent magic. And he says to Ember, first you have to tell me this. What is the true value of courage? You know that there is an endless stair above you unfolding, and you know that this answer is in your heart. What will you answer me, Ember? And so Maureen, I was quiet for a bit. I wanted to let these words sink in because I think it is a very beautiful and valuable question. So then I wrote down, I am quiet for a moment, and then I imagined me being Ember, standing there in the orchard, facing Myrtle, and asking myself, yes, what is the true value of courage? Ember recollects herself, regains her self-worth and her self-assurance, and she says, well, and here, now that I am reading this to you, I can see that ChatGPT asked me the true value of courage, but I said the true nature of courage. That's funny, right? So, the question that Ember has answered is, the true nature of courage is that you walk on a path that frightens you and still you take that first step. Ember swallows, looks at Myrtle and hopes to have given him the right answer. Ember thinks to herself, I've gone this far. Please let me go through this passage. Please, can Myrtle let me through? And then I let ChatGPT answer for me because Maureen, was also not really sure if this was the correct answer. And ChatGPT envisioned himself being Myrtle. Myrtle nods slowly, and there's a slight smile on his lips as the silver light pulsates around him. That is a worthy answer, Ember Frostwillow. Courage, indeed, is to overcome your fear. It is not the not having fear. He gestures to the stairs that spirals along that very, very high rock. The second question, he says with a serious look on his face, is, what is the greatest gift that a magician can receive? Ember could feel the weight of his words in the cool air. She thinks about the many nights in the tavern, listening to the stories of the old wise people and the brave adventurers that found their way to Elisara. She's thinking, what is the answer that Myrtle is looking for? And so me, Maureen, I was again envisioning me being Ember. I felt knocked off my feet a little bit. I didn't expect this question. But I remembered something an old man told me many months ago. Pride. Pride is what can bring the most mighty magician of all down. The greatest gift is to discover their true nature, their true self, and at the same time, don't fall into the trap of arrogance. It is knowing where your limits are and to always act in accordance with your own values, your inner core values. Even, those before you ever wanted to be a magician. Amber is almost taken aback by her own monologue, and she can hear how the emotions are raging inside of her, making her speak up even. And then it was the turn of ChatGPT again. It envisioned being Myrtle, and it answered me this. Myrtle's eyes lit up under the hood of his cloak, nodding, being pleased with the answer. Your wisdom is surprising and refreshing, young Ember. Yes, too many magicians lost what you have found. Honor and being humble are indeed very valuable, precious gifts. He steps aside, showing the path to the stairs. There is one last question, he says, and that is maybe the most crucial of all. My question is this: what are you hoping to find at the end of this stair? Amber's heart is pounding in her chest. She looks at the top of the stairs, staring at it. It is so far above her, and even the top is not visible because it is shrouded in clouds of mystery. What drives you, Ember Frostwillow, to undertake this dangerous journey? And so it was my turn again. I envision being Ember, and she thinks to herself, well, this question, in fact, is the most easy one for me. I resolutely give my answer. That what I hope to find at the end of this stairs is me. I hope to find what is residing in my heart and where the core of my magic wants me to go, where it wants to take me. It was ChatGPT's turn again, and he says this. Myrtle's face goes soft and gentle. The light around him is glowing warmer and more brighter than before. Well, Ember Frostwillow, then you are truly ready for this journey. There are not many who go and seek with such an amount of sincerity. Now go and climb these spiraling stairs and discover the depth of your soul and the heights of your gifts. He bows, and then he disappears in a flash of silver light. He leaves Amber with nothing but the stairs that will lead her to unknown realms. She takes a deep breath and then sets her foot on the first stone, her heart full of hope and with a determination to discover what is waiting for her there at the top of the stairs. When I had this conversation with ChatGPT, and this is a while ago, as you can see, it is on the 22nd of May that I did this, and as I'm filming this, it is the end of June. When I did this session with ChatGPT, I could feel that this was the right thing to do, to go from the overwhelm of way too many elements and way too many directions I could take this story to this beautiful scene with the 3 questions. And the beautiful thing for me is that I really enjoyed having these questions and really having to think about them and thinking about what my character Amber would answer to this. And I think, as always in a story, there's a lot of me, woven into these answers. So I feel this is very valuable information to share with you. I do not wish to only show you the instances where everything just goes smoothly and I'm very happy with the creative flow of things. I also want to share with you the moments where things don't go as planned or where the energy blocks, and most importantly, why, and what you then can do to overcome this block. So, to sum it up for me, to overcome my block, there were these three elements that are very, very important, which is step away, simplify if you can, and don't give in to your perfectionist self who only wants to make things more elaborate and more complicated and more anything, just more, and that is too much. So taking it a step back, really evaluating if you don't want to do too much, that is a very important step. And the last step is see if you can ask for help. You can also help yourself, not asking something like an AI. Maybe you have a real life buddy in writing, or just a good friend that you can talk about, that you can discuss these things with. That can also be a very good thing to do. And just stepping back, leaving everything and put it somewhere where you cannot see it for a few days or a week, and then coming back to it with fresh eyes. That's also stepping back from it. So step back, like literally put it away for a bit, simplify, leave your perfectionist at the door and ask for help. That is what I did. And now I'm really happy with the story again. I'm not sure if and when I will continue on this story. I think I will, but I had to really leave it behind for quite some time. You can see this is the 22nd of May. It is now the 28th of July when I'm filming this. I have also been away on a vacation, but it's 2 months, and that is perfectly fine. Now, to end this video today, I want to show you what I did with the rest of all the elements that I had laying on my desk, and I have to sort of reposition this to really show it to you. Here are all the beautiful illustrations that I already had. And this is a creature that I had in mind to be somewhere in the story. It's a really lovely blue bird. See? And here is a lady sitting, meditating on a river bank. There's a different variation of the village that Ember lives in with the river. Here is also that beautiful image that I had as an alternative for Ember herself. And I love her too, still. And I don't know if she will plop up somewhere in a story or in a different story. Here's another sweet little young girl sitting, meditating. Another version of the village. And maybe this is a place where Amber ends up in once she is in the magic realm. Who knows? I don't know. I always love to have these on hand. Now here are some more, people from the story. This is Amber. This is Silva Thornbloom. She will be her companion, that I do know. And here is another version of a village, which I feel is somewhere else in the story. It's darker, it has a different kind of energy. And then here are some more gorgeous. Oh, oops, sorry. another lovely bird, and a cute rabbit. So there you go. And I also have a bunch of names here that I can use. I used a fantasy name generator on this website, and it is so lovely to play around with all of that. Amber's name also came from there, and you can, combine them in any way you would like. Well, that I would like, or you can do that too. That's okay. If you see something here and it sparks an idea in your mind, please feel free to run with it and make something with it. So yeah, that's my story for today. I'm gonna close this up now, leave you with this beautiful image, and leave you with this image as well, because this set me on this leg of the journey and of this leg of Amber's story. And I hope you liked it. I really, really appreciate you for being here, for listening to me, for hanging out with me. It means a lot to me that you want to be here. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps my videos, that it can be shown to more people that might be interested in it. And if you want to stick around and want to be notified, when I upload more videos, subscribe and please hit the bell so that you get a notification each time a new video will be on my channel. Okay. That's it for now. Again, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Bye bye.